FlossTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin, and this is my channel, Lady Robins. I am happy that you're here, whether you're a first-time viewer or a returning subscriber and friend. I am really happy to see you here. This is my FlossTube number 93. It's the 5th of October. It's Tuesday, so it's time to do some filming. I have tons of stuff to share with you, you guys. So let's check out our mug of the day, and then let's get right to it. I have a window of opportunity here where there is nobody in my house but me and the dog. The husband is off getting an oil change on the car. The son is on campus for school. It's so exciting for him. He is doing Running Start at the local community college, and he is back on campus. And I shouldn't say back on campus. He did Running Start last year, and it was all virtual. So this is his first year experiencing life on the college campus, and he is enjoying it, and I am so happy for him. So let's check out our mug of the day. We are here. Look at those waterfalls, you guys. Yep. Niagara Falls. Isn't that fun? This might have been maybe my third or fourth mug. This is where my parents went on their honeymoon trip when they, of course, got married. And so I always think of Mom and Dad when I get this mug out of the cabinet, and they have been married 63 years, something like that. So they have had a good long marriage, and so to Mom and Dad, right, for sticking together all these years. They were high school sweethearts. Isn't that cute? Nothing interesting in here, you guys. Brewed coffee. Yep, I think the last couple of times I've just had brewed coffee, so that's okay. We have got a rainy day here in the Pacific Northwest. The lighting isn't too bad, but probably because I've got some clouds up there, so hopefully I won't have those sparks and flashes that I get when it's super sunny and the sun's coming through my window. I'm gonna see if I can turn my camera, because all along my counter here are the things we are going to discuss. So let's give you a little preview if I can. Did you see that pile of madness? That's what we're up against this morning. All right. I have got a record, at least for me. I have a record. I have 4 FFOs, fully finished objects, and all 4 of them are finished by this girl. Yep, and we know that is not my jam. So I am super excited to show you what I got up to this week. I just decided it was October. We talked about it last week, and how I have finished some things that would be Halloween decor pieces, and I want them out so I can enjoy them for as long as possible. And so I decided I just had to buckle down and do that FFO'ing. So I did, and I cannot wait to show you. Today is going to be the jumping up and down out of my seat as I grab things off the counter and bring them back to the camera. I'll try to grab big handfuls of things so we don't have to watch my backside go in and out of the picture all morning long. All right. The first thing that I finished was Ghosts and Goblins by Brenda Gervais, and I made it into a mounted standing flat fold. Is that all the right words? I couldn't be happier. Look at that. There's that cool spider web fabric. I found that this is Joanne Fabrics, if anybody is dying to get their hands on this, but I think it's super cool. I don't know if it shows, but it's got a little sparkle in it, which usually I don't like sparkly things, things, but I just loved this. I thought this was super cool. It kind of made me think of rain or dewdrops in the morning on spider webs when you get up early. Not that I'm much of an early riser, but I finished this all by myself, and with a lot of video tutorials on YouTube. And you know who I watched. I watched Vanna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher, and she has a mounted flat fold tutorial. It's about, I think it was 48 minutes long, and I played it, and then I would back up, and then I would do the step, and then I would play the next part, and then I would back up, and sometimes I had to watch it 2 or 3 times, and eventually I got this finished. It took me about 2 days because I got to the point where I probably could have finished it one evening, but I was tired and I was afraid of making a mistake. So, couple of words of advice, things that I learned is when you are cutting your map board, this is almost the most important step of the whole thing, is they've got to be as close to identical as possible. Otherwise, you know, they stick out a little bit. So like this one on the bottom is just a skosh bigger than the one that I glued on top. Now, nobody's going to see that except the super picky type A person, right? But it's pretty close. It's close enough. And because really you should be concentrating on the beautiful stitching, right? The other thing is Vanna suggested a 2-inch piece of tape between the 2 sides. And what I am discovering where I'm putting it in my house is I'm kind of looking down on it. So for me, it would have been better to have a slightly longer piece of tape on the bottom so that it's not so straight up and down, because I'm looking at it more at an angle. So I'm not quite getting the benefit of viewing the cross stitch. I might have to find someplace where it's at eye level because it's pretty straight on. So anyway, that is my first FFO. Yep, this chart is Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee by Brenda Gervais, whose company is With a Needle and Thread. I didn't do anything. I didn't sub any of the colors. This is all the called for. And the fabric is one of my fabric of the months from Brandy at Bestitch Me. And I think this one is called Scroll. I always put all of my floss and fabrics in the description box below. If you're looking, you know, it's going to be down there. So if you're dying to know exactly what I did, you can look that up in case I forget to say it, because 9 times out of 10, I do. Okay, so my next 3 FFOs are all pillow finishes, so let me show you those. And you're going to know exactly what's coming up here. So, I did Trick or Treat by Lottie Daw. I did By the Pricking of My Thumb, Something Wicked This Way Comes. And this is a start and a finish and FFO all in one week. I did the adorable Ghosts, Goblins, Witches, and Warlocks freebie chart from Helen D., who is also East Coast Crafter on Instagram. So this you haven't even seen before, because I started, finished, and fully finished it all in a week. Yay! Isn't that sweet? Yep. So a couple of things that I have learned. I'm going to show them to you again. These two, whoops, upside down. These two are stuffed with fiberfill, okay? And it's light and it's fluffy and I love it. This one is stitched, oops, excuse me, not stitched, filled with the walnut shells. And I don't know don't know if you can even hear it. Can you hear that? So, what I did was I put fiber fill in my 4 corners, and then I put the walnut shells, and then I put a little bit of fiber fill across the bottom so it wouldn't squirt out as I was closing it. Now, what I'm noticing on this one is when I put it on a table, these corners, because they don't have the walnut shells, and this stuff is so much heavier, these corners bend like the dickens, and I don't like it. So, and I did a good job sewing it closed, right? Why did I have to do such a good job? I am probably going to cut open my stitches, dump out the walnut shells, and fill it with fiber fill, because I can't stand looking at it like that. Drives me nuts. So I got a little rework to do on Trick or Treat, but that's okay. I am happy to do that because I love this so much. I want to be satisfied when I walk by it in my house. So probably a little redo on this one, but that's okay. Nobody died here. We're all fine. So that is a record for me, 4 FFOs in 1 week. That will probably never happen again. But that's okay. It was kind of fun to have all of these things upside down again, all of these things stitched up, because I kind of did like an assembly line process. So I ironed everything, then I figured out my margins. I like a wider margin, so this is, for me, this is 3/4 of an inch. I know a lot of people do 1/2 inch, but I just wanted a little bit more, especially if it's sitting. I want you to be able to see all of the stitching. So I gave myself a little more room on that. So like when it's sitting here, you're still seeing all of the stitching. So anyway, I gave myself 3/4 of an inch. Like I said, I ironed it. I measured my 3/4 of an inch plus my seam allowance. I cut all 4 things at the same time. Then I cut my backing fabric. Then after that, I cut my interfacing for all of the pieces. So that was 6 pieces of interfacing. And then after I did that, then I attached my interfacing to all 6 pieces. Yeah, it took a long time. And then it was just this morning that I sat down and stuffed them and whip stitched them closed. So it was at least a 3-day process, because, you know, I don't have endless amounts of time to sit around and do this stuff. This one, like I said, this one took 2 days, and I'm okay with that. It, you know, yay! It's all good in my world. I am happy with it all. So because of all of that, I still stitched on 4 things, but 2 of them are in the finish pile because I had to finish off Something Wicked, the big long one. I started and finished the Helen D, the little purple one, and then the other 2 things I stitched on were one of my Whip Go calls. So I did stitch on the Bent Creek, the Gift of Peace sampler. So I stitched on that, and when I'm tired, I just stop, apparently, because my needle is still halfway in a stitch. That's too funny. I look down. Oh well. You love me anyway, right? So I completed the red border all the way around. That is done. And then I just worked more on the snow. So, yeah, we're getting there. So my Whip Go goal is 5 days of stitching, and hopefully 5 days of stitching will get that to a finish. That's what I'm really shooting for, because I also would like that guy up and in my house for Christmas. So that was the first Whipco piece that I stitched on. I haven't started my other one, which is Good Company by Plum Street, but I will. I love that one too. And then the other thing that I worked on was my 25/7 stitching, and I told you I was going to do ornaments for my tree. So I am working on Silent Night. And let me show you where I am at on this guy. Where are you? Here it is. Stuffed way down at the bottom of the bag. Okay, so there I am on Silent Night. And I have not 25/7 stitched yet today. I'm rolling with other things. I might end up having to stitch 25/7 tonight. Usually I do it first thing in the morning when I'm enjoying my coffee, but I decided to work on the pillow finishes so I could show them to you. So have to change up my day ever so slightly, but that's okay. I'm here for it. So there's my whips for the week, and I'm enjoying all the things I'm stitching. I hope when you're stitching, you're enjoying all the things that you're stitching. So we got that. Then I did get an order of pom-poms from Lady Dot. I thought maybe I would put these mini black pom-poms on the 2 Lottie doll pieces. They don't need them. They're perfect the way they are. So I've got black pom-poms for a future project. Yep. And that feels really good to know that it doesn't have to have all the things to be finished. So there we go. Yay! All right. I have purchased a few things. Well, not just a few things. Apparently, I let the genie out of the bottle, and I have purchased way too many things. So I'm here to confess to you what I have purchased and maybe enable you ever so slightly. Before we get to that, I thought I would show you what has showed up so far in my Black Needle Society Halloween trick-or-treat box. So you've probably seen these. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. Day 1 in this cute little bag is a corner gauge. And I think that's upside down, but I think that's the marker on the Ouija board. I'm not a Ouija fan, so I like the corner gauge, but whatever. Sorry, Black Needle Society, not my thing. That's okay though. I kind of suspect that not everything in this box is going to be my thing, and I should have thought this through because I like the happy, jolly Halloween fall stuff. I don't like the gruesome horror stuff, so I might have goofed. Because the second thing was 18 count Ada in blood splatter. Yeah. These might, you guys, because they're not my thing doesn't mean they're not your thing, right? Do not take this as this is a horrible box, because that is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's not for me. So these will probably show up as giveaways on my channel later on. So that was day 2. Now, day 3 totally was my thing. Floss. Floss! You can't go wrong with floss, my friends. And so we got some lovely floss. This is from Fiberlicious, which I just think their colors are phenomenal. So there were 5 flosses, and there they are. Yeah, can't go wrong with floss, right? So I love these. These will not be showing up in a giveaway. So then the fourth thing that showed up on day 4 was a pattern, and it's by Bendy Stitchia, our lovely Michelle. And so here we have Hildy's Chupacabra Campout, which is really cute. I like this. This is sweet. And I'm suspecting that those flosses are for this pattern. So there you go. So I like that. And then today is day 5, and we got candy today. You can't go wrong with candy. And this is one of those lollipops by the Laughing Forest. I don't know if that'll focus in, but it looks like, and you can't really tell on my camera, but it looks like one of those sugar skulls. So I'm probably going to eat this. So this is my thing. So there you go. That's what, that's the first 5 days of the Black Needle Society Trick or Treat Halloween box. So there you have it. All right. Now, the other thing that happened this weekend was the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit put on by Acorns and Threads. So I thought I would show you what projects came on that. And I will confess I didn't start any of it because I was stitching on, I think by that point I was finishing up the big long Something Wicked shoe. And then on Sunday, I was working on the Helen D chart. So they're untouched. I didn't start them, but I can at least show them to you. Let me grab it. Okay, so we had 3 designers. We have an exclusive chart from Heart and Hand, which makes up this adorable little bowl. And there is our fabric and our flosses. The fabric, I love this color. And then the floss is silk. So pretty cool, right? So that was the first designer, Kathy Haberman of Hands On Design. And then the next one is this cute little, they call it the ball. This is by Beth Ann, who is Summer House Stitch Works. And what's really fun about this project is you can't see it very well in the picture, but this is embroidery. It's not cross stitch. And so when Beth Ann was up doing her portion, she was showing us how to do embroidery stitches. So that was kind of fun because we all know how to make an X, but I'm not that good on stem stitch or, you know, any of those fancy things. So that was fun. And then the last thing was Tracy Horner of Ink Circles, and she made a book. Yeah, right? Book. You know I love this. So it's going to use the same fabric that is in here. So it's really interesting that the chart kind of looks pink, but the fabric's more red. So anyway, those were the 3 projects, and then we also got a bonus exclusive for Acorns and Threads, and it is these 3 rounds. Also a collaborations between the 3 designers. So that was our kit from Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. So that was pretty good, right? So there's that. Now, in terms of other things that I purchased, sorry, off camera again, I have got 3 things to show you and 1 thing to tell you about. I got my Fiberlicious Fabric of the Month. This is Rustic Fall, and I get a 32 count, so really pretty. Then I purchased Stitchy Stars, and the reason I purchased this is I saw somebody on Instagram that had converted the colors into Christmas colors, and I'm thinking I'm going to stitch those individually as ornaments for my Christmas tree and, you know, copy that idea, you know, reds and greens and whites, right? So I thought that would be really super cool. And then the last thing that I got was a piece of 28 count platinum linen. And what I'm going to do with this is I bought the Satsuma Street Noel, what do they call it? Secret Sal. So she's going to release 4 parts, and it's starting the 8th. So in 3 days. And yeah, I love Satsuma Street, and the last few things, sales that she's started have either been at the wrong time or just not a theme that I'm a big fan of. Yeah, there must be something wrong with me. I don't adore Alice in Wonderland, right? It's okay, but it's just okay. But a Christmas sale, I'm right there. I'm all over that. So this is going to be for the Christmas sale. That wraps up my purchasing. Thank goodness, because that was a lot. I'm glad I don't purchase like that all the time, because that is ridiculous. But there you have it. So plans for next week. What am I going to stitch on? I'm going to keep stitching ornaments. I'm going to keep working on my whip go pieces. And I haven't started my sister's teacup stitch, and I want to get a start on that. So I might have myself a couple of new starts next week. So we'll see how that goes. All right, friends, that's all I've got for you. You have a great day. Happy stitching. Don't forget, while you're stitching, stitch happy, and I'll check in with you in a week. Okay, bye guys.